Welcome to the MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports Radio. It is Tuesday, June 29th. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, and our special guest, as he is each and every Tuesday, Jose Bouquett, ready to break down an MLB card. Hopefully a pick-me-up Tuesday. We've obviously had some ups and some downs, more downs the last few days, although split the best bets. I guess that's a moral victory for me. But look, things are getting tougher, and I was talking off air with Jose and Conor before the show. This is a yearly occurrence for me, where April and May and early June seem to be great for me in baseball, very consistent. We grind out more profitable days than losing ones. Well, now it's kind of gone in reverse the last 3-4 days for me, and it's like this every year. I find it gets more difficult, and you got to tighten the belt. You got to maybe go with a lower volume of bets per day and really, really try to pace yourself, as we get to the grind of the baseball season, which we're in right now, which is approaching the All-Star break and then into the second half of the season. So it's always, to me, a trickier handicap, a little bit more difficult handicap of the card on a daily basis. But all you can do is you just go forward, do the best you can, put in the work, and hope that the results will follow. And that's exactly what we are going to keep on doing here on this show daily. But we just, we wanted to mention that, hey, we get it. It's been a struggle the last few days, but hey, we're here for the long haul. We'll still be here every single day, still be pouring our hearts out, pouring our guts out every day, giving it our all. And giving you hopefully the best betting information and opinions we can possibly give you. So with that in mind, let's get to Tuesday's card. We've got the LA Angels taking on the New York Yankees. Andrew Heaney and Jameson Taillon on the mound here. Yankees moderate home favorites here, minus 150, 55. The total 9.5, 10, depending on where you look right now. I know the over came up short yesterday, and man, was that frustrating. I mean, we got that game, what was it, 2-2? Very early yesterday. Al Bundy, I think, had too much to drink with Polk High School football team last night on the mound for the Angels because he puked. I think he had too much booze in one of the football team parties or something last night because he pukes on the mound. He can't finish the game, and sure enough, the runs die from that point on, and it ends up being 5-3 Angels. The game stays under the total. I don't know how you can make a good case for the Yankees laying this price right now. They are in an awful way right now. I'm at the point where it's got to be Angels or nothing for me. Unfortunately, Andrew Heaney is in hideous form, although you could say the same thing about Taillon. So I lean Angels, but I'm going to come back to the well with the over again today. I know it fell short yesterday, but that game probably goes over if Bundy doesn't get sick and leaves early because he was probably going to give up a few more runs to that Yankees lineup. He didn't have good stuff. The Yankees were hitting him pretty good. And then all of a sudden, he exits the game suddenly, turns it over to the Angels bullpen, which is usually a mess. And some reason the Yankees can't hit that very, very weak Angels bullpen. And it's another frustrating part of that game last night for me. But nevertheless, I'm going to come back to the well here with the over. And certainly from a side perspective, it's Angels or nothing. What do you think, Connor? Angels, Yankees?
Yeah, if I would have known Bundy would have got sick and puked and left, that would have been great because I talked about taking the Angels first 5 and I didn't do it yesterday. Then that happens. They come in. The bullpen did well. Anyways, I'd only lean Angels as well. People think, I guess this is a Yankee spot. They've lost a few in a row, but at minus 150, I just can't take them. I can't take them run line. So this was a quick pass for me as well. And I don't want to take the over 10. Few guys have hit him. LeMahieu's 5 for 10, but not too many guys have good hitting stats. So it was a quick one early on. I want nothing to deal with.
All right, quick pass. Jose, what about you, Angels, Yankees?
I'm on the I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm on the Yankees. First 5 minus a half. Right now at Pinnacle, it's even money plus 101. I have a thing now. I have a theory. I think that the starting pitchers that have been at home for a couple starts back to back, they do well. Jameson Taillon is about to make his 3rd home start in a row. Last time it was against Kansas City, 1 earned run. The one to perform that was 2 earned runs against Oakland. So both hitting good hitting squad. So I think Jameson can do well, especially at home. I wouldn't bet him on the road. So give me the Yankees first 5 today. I know the Yankees suck. I've witnessed it. I've bet against it. but I think this is a spot where we can take advantage of a plus money spot or a nice even money spot.
All right, we have Tampa Bay Rays, Washington Nationals now. Interleague matchup in this one. We've got as fitting that this guy's always pitching, it seems, when Jose Bouquett is with us. Dick Mountain, a.k.a. Rich Hill, the lefty for the Rays, taking on Joe Ross for the Washington Nationals. We've got Washington here, minus 115, minus 120 home favorites, total 9.5 here. And this was a huge move in the total going up. In this one, it opened 8.5 with juice, and we're seeing 9s and pretty much 9.5s now at most books here. And look, there has been some, I guess, coming back down to earth in the last few outings, I guess you could say, for Rich Hill. There's definitely some truth to that. We'll have to see if that keeps on going. We are concerned a little bit about the crackdown being a part of the issue right now for Ross, but he hasn't been necessarily as sharp of late. 5.52 ERA his last 3 starts, which isn't anything to write home about. The last start was better against Boston, 1 run, 3 hits, but only 5 innings. 5 walks were an issue. The strikeouts, 5 for him, which isn't bad actually. But before that, he got rocked a little by Seattle and as well by Baltimore. We'll see how he pitches here on the road. 3.55 ERA. We got Joe Ross on the mound for the Nationals. Very good start in his last outing. Shutout in 7 innings over the Miami Marlins. Pitched great in that ball game. Struggled before that against the Mets, and then was brilliant before that with the start against San Francisco, where he had an 8-inning shutout against the Giants. So you got a guy that's capable, but he's also interchanged good starts and bad starts. That's been kind of the pattern lately for Joe Ross. So tricky to trust him. On the flip side, Rich Hill's been a little bit more hittable lately, and the Nationals, as we know, can be capable against lefties. However, that hasn't been the case as much this season, and it's certainly not been the case the last 10 games or so. You look at the Nationals, they're only hitting 143 and 0.7 runs per game against lefties. So this is just all around. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to get. I would say there's value in Tampa because they're certainly the much better team, and you're getting an even money price here. So I guess I'd lean Tampa Bay. They're still the much better of these two teams, but I don't really feel strongly about this game other than that. There is some value, I think, on Tampa, but from a price standpoint, but just a small lean. I'm probably going to stay off it. What do you think, Connor, with Tampa, Washington?
Yeah, this was another one. I just don't love too much about it. It's going to be hot and humid in DC. And Ross, I've talked about Ross, how he's really on or that guy's getting rocked, and I seem to never catch him. I'm just always off with Ross. Rich Hill's been good. He's been a little bit shakier lately, but we'll see. I think he's a big guy that was using some of that stuff on the ball. I mean, his curveballs in multiple ways. That's how he gets people out. This was a stay off for me. A few Nats really hit Hill hard. Zimmerman 6 for 13 with a couple homers. Turner's been hitting well, Trey Turner, and of course Schwarber's only 1 for 9. It's going against the lefty, but man, that guy's been on fire. He's hitting jacks everywhere. Hard to not take him even right now against the lefty. Yeah, just a game I want no part of here. The over 9s minus 130, 135, just a pass.
All right, what do you think, Jose? Tampa Bay, Washington.
Yeah, this is a good game. This is a good game. My man Dick Mountain has been struggling. The spin rate, sticky substances, I think has affected him. But I'll probably go with the. I think it's more likely that we get a Joe Ross bad start rather than a Dick Mountain bad start. Like you said, Joe Ross dominated last time out, and he was the tank play of the day last time. And I'll attribute I'm going to attribute 40% of his success that day to Matt Randall picking him for the tank play of the day. But this is how my man Joe Ross goes about it. 7 earned, 0 or 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs last time. 5 earned run, 5 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. 8 innings pitched, no earned runs. 6 innings pitched, 4 runs, none of them earned, but still 4 runs is 4 runs. And then 5 innings pitched, 4 earned. He's a classic bounce back and forth kind of pitcher. I'll take him to stink today, and I'll take the Rays.
All right, liking the Rays. So it's a down day on the stock market, if you will, for Joe Ross. Don't buy Joe Ross. We're selling him today. At least Jose is. in this game between the Rays and the Nationals. Next up, we've got Miami and Philadelphia. Trevor Rogers, Vince Velasquez, the pitching matchup here, even money pretty much, the total 9. Big wind blowing out and 90 degrees in Philadelphia tonight. So hitters conditions. And I'm telling you right now, with these hitters conditions and a total that's reasonable, like not 9 for a warm night with the wind blowing out, it's actually a reasonable total. Sometimes you see totals in warm weather and wind blowing out 10, 10 and a half, 11, like we saw in Yankee Stadium and Fenway Park last night. This one's a little more reasonable. So the hitters conditions tell me that I don't want the under. That being said, Trevor Rogers ain't really an over pitcher. He's been excellent this year for the Marlins. 2.08 ERA. Overall, 2.01 ERA on the road this season. He's faced the Nationals twice this year, gave up 3 runs and 12.2 innings against them. So that's what I call getting the job done. Miami won both of those games. Vince Velasquez, last 2 starts, not so good. 4 runs, 4 innings against the Giants, 4 runs, 3 hits against the Nationals in that wild 13-12 game in his last start for Velasquez. Now, he has been rocked by the Marlins long term in his career, and yet the one start this season against Miami, he shut him down. He had 6 innings of shutout ball against them. So I remember that. I was stunned by that. I got to look Miami here. I like Rogers so much more than I like Velasquez. That bullpen for Philly stinks, and we absolutely saw that last night against Cincinnati. The Reds blew the doors open in that game last night. So this would be a Miami look. I'm going to get involved. Miami here, first 5 full game. Rogers is an under pitcher. Velasquez, I think, is more of an over pitcher, and the Philly bullpen's more of an over bullpen right now. So it's tough. I mean, it's hard for me to bet Rogers over in terms of the total, but it's hitters conditions. It's a warm night. The wind's blowing out. I don't trust Velasquez, so I would still lean over if I had to. But I like Miami a little bit here. First 5 full game split. Connor, what do you think? Marlins, Phillies.
Yeah, Rogers has been so good this year. 7-4, barely over a 2 ERA. And he's been good against these Phillies, good all year. The guy Vinny Velasquez has got me all year. Yeah, but the wind's blowing out. You mentioned all this stuff, and both teams have hit these pitchers really, really well. I mean, Hoskins 4 for 8 with a couple, McCutchen 4 for 7, a couple homers. Same thing with the Marlins. You talked about it, Ian. They just rip him. 5 for 7, Marte, 7 for 19, Rojas, on and on and on. So yeah, it looks like an over. Yeah, team total. You could bring that up. You could go that way. Can the Marlins get over 4? Can't get 5 runs though here. I just look at the Marlins full game. I think they have the better bullpen than the Phillies. So you could go first 5, of course, with Rogers, but I think at -110. Full game with the Marlins would be my look.
Yeah, but I will, by the way, I will be on Starling Marte over total bases tonight. No question. 5 for 7 track record. I won't be able to pass that up. I think he can. That's a good prop to look at. It's not Jack of the Day, but I'm going total bases, not home run with him. But I think it's good look there with Marte. What do you think, Jose?
Yeah, I'm on Connor, you mentioned it. I'm on the Miami Marlins team total over. If they're going to win this game, I think they'll definitely score over 5. Vince Velasquez, not good. This Phillies bullpen, equally not as good. So, I mean, the sooner Vince Velasquez leaves, we get a bad bullpen. And if Vince is pitching poorly, then maybe we want to stay in. So, I'm on the Marlins there.
All right, next up, Seattle Mariners, Toronto Blue Jays. We've got Chris Flexen, Robbie Ray, the pitching matchup here. Toronto around -230 right now. Home favorites, 10 the total. For the most part across the board. Of course, the Blue Jay home games remain in Buffalo. And Robbie Ray, for the most part, remains pretty damn good for this Blue Jays rotation. It's obviously been a resurgent year of sorts for him. And he continues to pretty much deliver, be solid for this team. 3.35 ERA, 2.97 in home starts this year. Last outing against the Marlins, 1 run in 6 innings. Before that 2 runs against Baltimore. 3 runs in 6 innings against Boston. That was his worst start, believe it or not, in the last 5. It was 3 runs. That's the high water mark of runs given up by Robbie Ray in his last 5 starts. And, of course, he held the White Sox and then Miami again to 1 run. So it's been a very, very solid run for him. I think he could probably do well against this Mariners team tonight going into this game. They don't have much of a track record against Robbie Ray for the most part. I haven't seen him a whole lot. On the flip side here, you've got Chris Flexen, on the mound for the Seattle Mariners. He's actually pitched pretty decently his last 3 starts. 1.74 ERA, shut out Minnesota with 8 innings in that game, 1 run and 6.2 innings against the Rockies in his last start. Can he keep that going here? The one thing that stands out like a sore thumb to me for Flexen is there's a few things. Number one is look at the home runs that he's allowed. 2, 3, 4, 5 home runs in his last 6 starts. That's not good in this ballpark here in Buffalo, which is a home run hitter's park. And number 2 is that 7.27 ERA he has on the road. I mean, he's been not good at all away from home. And that's a problem as well, in my opinion, for Flexen going into this game. He struggled on the road. He gives up home runs. And guess what? That plays perfectly into this Blue Jays team. So I'd actually lean with the run line here on the Blue Jays a little bit, -1.5. I know their bullpen still can be concerning, but their bullpen shut the door on Sunday. That was about the best I've seen out of that bullpen in a long time. They didn't play yesterday. Day off means all the key relievers and key arms out of that bullpen are fresh and ready for today's game. So I'd maybe look Jays run line, if anything. What do you think here, Connor?
Yeah, this game's a stay away for me. I mean, Flexen with a huge price, but the guy's just so bad on the road. You know, his ERA is just way up there. At home, he's been so dominant. Just 2 different guys. But Robbie Ray, -230. The Jays have been hitting maybe their team total. It's -115 instead of taking the run line. Can they get 6 runs off Flexen? Like you said, he gives up the long ball. I'm not going to play it, but that's what I'd look at. And maybe the over a little bit. But I'm not playing this one. Only one guy that for the Mariners, Ty France, 4 for 7 with a homer off Robbie Ray. Maybe look at him. Sleeper jack of the day.
Yeah, definitely. It could be something to look at there. He's the one guy that's faced him a little bit, Robbie Ray, and had some success for sure for the Mariners. But we'll see if that keeps on going today. I will say this, too. The Jays against righties, the last 10 games, great average, over 5 runs per game, almost 6 runs per game. And you flip that around to Seattle against lefties. In the last 10 games, they're only hitting 227 and less than 4 runs per game. So it's a good offensive numbers advantage, too, for the Jays here in this matchup. What do you think, Jose, Mariners, Jays?
Yeah, the over was my first thought. I mean, but the issue is betting. You can't really bet the Blue Jays money line or anything like that. It's too juiced. The -1.5 is still kind of juicy. I have it at -118. I don't know about you, Ian. But I would look towards the over. Otherwise, I'd probably stay off this game. But Ian, I do have a question for you. Is Canada ever going to get its baseball team back, or were they just keeping them in Buffalo now?
They are. They're going to. Well, I don't know about this season, but certainly next year they'll be back in Toronto for sure. By April 2022, when we start that season, they'll be at Rogers Center again. No question about it.
Damn. That sucks. So the Blue Jays are probably not going to be in Toronto all this season.
They said there's a chance in, say, August or September, but at that point, there's only a month left in the season plus playoffs. I wouldn't even bother at that point. Uprooting them for 1 month or 2 months, and you're not even sure you'll be a playoff team yet either if you're the Jays. So what's the point? I think you just play it out now in Buffalo, rest of the season, and you get back to the cozy confines of north of the border, Toronto, next year. I think that's going to be what they end up doing. But it is what it is. I mean, it's just stricter restrictions here with this as we finally though get out of this pandemic. I mean, it's going to happen here. I mean, you're seeing the numbers are going way down. Things are getting good in that regard. Kansas City, Boston, Brad Keller, Nick Pivetta. We got Boston -220, home favorites here, 10.5 the total in this one. I can't say enough how bad Brad Keller is. Like I say, the running joke is he keeps pitching like Helen Keller, and it's absolutely true. Just been absolutely pathetic for this Royals team. Dreadful start last time out as well against the New York Yankees. Not at all a surprise. What do you have? 4 runs, 9 hits, 5 innings against the Yankees, 2 home runs. Yeah, Brad Keller's given up 6 home runs in his last 6 starts, including 2 homers in his last game. Yeah, good luck pitching tonight at Fenway Park with the wind blowing out on a hot, humid night. That's just a miserable, miserable matchup here for Brad Keller here in this Royals pitcher here against the Yankees or against the Red Sox. On the flip side, you've got Pivetta, pitched well in his last start, had a no-hitter going, and came out of the game with a no-hitter. But the pitch count got up there, 6.2 innings, and the Red Sox still lost that game. Can you believe it? The pitcher throws a no-hitter into the 7th, and they end up losing that game to the Tampa Bay Rays. He pitched well in that game. I don't know if he keeps it going, though. I mean, he's the thing that does worry me for Pivetta, much like with Keller, home run ball, 6 home runs allowed in his last 4 starts for Nick Pivetta.
Yeah.
That's problems. When you are not keeping the ball in the yard, you're going to have more problems in climates and settings like this one. It's a hot night, almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind's blowing out tonight at Fenway Park. I see runs again, just like we saw last night with these two teams. Very unfortunate to get a push. That game just stuck on 6-5, for like the last several innings of that game. But I had over 11. It ended up plus I didn't get the best. Now, like it was 10.5, and then it moved. Like if I had gotten the good number, I would have won it. But nevertheless, unfortunate it didn't go over 11. I think this game probably does go over the total. And here, at least tonight, you're dealing with 10.5, not 11 in this game. I think we see runs. Not involved in the side. I just like over the total here, 10.5. Connor, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Keller is probably going to get hit. We'll see with Pivetta. I don't know. The Royals put up runs last night, but I haven't trusted this lineup at all. It could be an all Red Sox kind of day, like an 8-1 game, something like that. If I see 11, I lean towards the under. I know it's blown out a little bit, and these two pitchers are bad, but Pavetta's better at home. He's been better at home. I lean under just a tad bit. I don't trust the Royals offense here.
All right. Do not trust the Royals offense. And I do not trust the Royals bullpen. That's the flip side of that situation right now. What do you think here, Jose? Red Sox Royals?
Tough to bet the Red Sox here. Too high of a price, to be honest with you. I'll enjoy watching Helen Keller try to maneuver her way to the mound and then off the mound after maybe 2 innings of work. So if anything, you want to bet a minus 120, you can bet Red Sox team total in the first half, or the first 5, sorry, over 3.5. That's minus 120. So maybe that, but still, lean off, enjoy the game. There's definitely other games to bet.
Yes, there is. There's no question. Next up, we've got, including this one, Detroit and Cleveland. Jose Urena, Jean Carlos Mejia on the mound here. We've got Cleveland, a big favorite, 9.5 the total. Well, Detroit took the shot with the plus price with Manning against Morgan. And Morgan wasn't great, but Morgan was a little bit better. And unfortunately, the young kid, Matt Manning, for Detroit didn't have anything last night. He was struggled, got smacked around, and Cleveland won in decisive fashion. This is another game I think we're going to see some runs here tonight. Don't like Urena. Right away I'm looking to fade him for Detroit. On the flip side, I'm not a big Jean Carlos Mejia fan. Neither of these guys have been very, very sturdy. Neither bullpen overly sharp of late. Cleveland's bullpen's kind of regressed lately. Detroit's bullpen, we know, can be hit or miss. So total 9.5. This is another overlean for me here in this one. What do you think, Connor? Detroit, Cleveland.
Yeah, when I saw these two pitchers, I think over 9.5 at minus 115 is a good look. I know they scored a ton of runs yesterday. Thank God in this game. I needed it. A few guys are ripped Urena. Hernandez is only 10 for 39, but he's got 3 homers. Rosario, 6 for 15. I think we see more runs. I don't trust the Tigers here. Indians look good, but I don't want to lay this price with Mejia on the mound. I wouldn't blame anyone at first 5 on the Tigers. I'm not taking it. And you could look team totals. The Tigers team total over 3.5 is minus 130. But I think you just go full game. I think both teams can score some runs here. So yeah, I look at the over 9.5 minus 115. Yeah,
I would definitely agree there. The over 9.5 here in this game. By the way, Cleveland second baseman Cesar Hernandez. That's a jack of the day for me. Certainly a candidate at the very least. 3 home runs in 39 at bats against Jose Urena in the past. Jose, what do you think here with Detroit, Cleveland?
The high numbers again. Baseball, really, this is where the bookies are really trying to screw you here. The over minus 113. I like that, but yeah, you can't. It's tough to bet the Indians, and Jose Urena has been so bad this year that it's almost impossible to bet the Tigers. It's a really plug your nose and bet the first 5 and hope that he can keep his shit together. But I guess I'm on the over 9.5. Like I said, minus 113, but probably a stay off for me.
All right, next up, we've got San Diego, Cincinnati, Blake Snell, Tony Santillan for the Reds. We've got since San Diego right now around minus 150 here in that road favorite chalk price range. The total 9.5, although it's been bet up to 10 in a lot of spots right now in this one. Padres, by the way, look out. We've got a little bit of an over trend and an over streak going with San Diego. 8-2 to the over in their last 10, 4 straight overs going into this game. And I like the over here in this game tonight with the Padres. This is another one. I mean, Blake Snell, you get him on the road, and it becomes a problem for the Padres. 10 ERA for him away from home. 6-2 to the over in his 8 road starts this year. And the Padres 0-8. Think about that. Padres haven't won a game this year when Blake Snell's pitched for them on the road. 0-8 in his 8 road starts for the Padres. I'm tempted to back Cincy here a little bit. First 5 full game, and I like the over because I don't know if Santillan will hold up here against the Padres. His numbers are good. 1.69 ERA at home in 2 home starts, 2-0. Very good, but he's also benefited from, Atlanta hasn't hit a whole lot. Colorado's hit or miss offensively, especially on the road. And the one start he made it, and he already faced San Diego once, and he got hit around by them and gave up 3 runs, 4 hits, 3 innings, including 2 home runs, 8-2 win for the Padres just 11 days ago. So I think the Padres could probably do some damage too against him, even though he's got those good home numbers. And I certainly think the Reds can crack Snell, who's just not been able to get the job done at any point on the road this year. So I'm going to take a shot here with this home dog. Cincinnati, first 5 innings, full game split. Also look over the full game total, 9.5, 10 as well. Again, Padres 4 straight overs, 8-2 to the over their last 10 games. Snell 6-2 to the over in his 8 road starts this year. A lot of trends pointing to runs and the over tonight. What do you think here, Connor? Padres and Reds.
Yeah, the last 2 road starts. The Rockies, that was 9 hits, 7 runs. Even the Mets, the light hitting Mets, 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. Even that home start against the Dodgers, he was didn't give up a run, but he walked 4. He labored through it. I can't back him on the road. So, yeah, I like the Reds here. I think the team total, I looked at over 4.5, maybe at plus 105. If Snell was pitching any bit better, I kind of looked at the first 5 under 5.5. I know Santillan just got hit a little bit by the Pods, but that's a big number. He's just not pitching well and on the road. So I got off of that.
And, this is a recording. Hot, humid, and wind blowing out. Where have I said that before? With some of these games tonight across a lot of these Midwest, Northeast cities. But that's exactly what we have here tonight, once again, in Cincinnati, where we have just a hot, muggy, sticky night in a hitter's ballpark. And look, we saw last night that played a role definitely in Cincinnati blowing that game over for sure. What do you think here, Jose, in this one with the Reds and the Padres?
Fun game. Really fun game. On paper, it's a fun game to watch. I like that over, but it's going up and up and up, and it feels like you have to bet it now or never. The 9.5s, they're gone. Or if not, you should bet that. But the 10s are still there. At least you get the push, but still, I have it on Pinnacle at minus 111. Connor, I liked your team totals. I really liked the Reds team total at 4.5. I think that would be my play here. The Reds have been one of the best hitting teams all year. The Astros have been like subatomic, like they've just been that good. But the Reds are right there. They're just as good on their given days. I like that. So I will lean with the Reds team total too.
All right, Reds team total. Liking that, Jose, in this one. Next up, we've got the New York Mets, Atlanta Braves. Old Man Morton for Atlanta, Charlie Morton. Tyler McGill for the Mets. They're giving him another start. Atlanta minus 175 home favorites, 9 the total in this game. I was absolutely stunned by a little bit that the Atlanta Braves, the last time they faced Tyler McGill, that they struggled a little bit with him. I'm not sure why, but we'll see if he can keep it going here. But again, a short turnaround for, I think, a guy that's not really anything to write. Like, this guy's not a big time pitcher in the prospect chain for the Mets, this Tyler McGill. So you would like to think that the Braves will have a better job of success here against him tonight. On the flip side, Old Man Morton, he's pitched well here in June, 2.28 ERA here in the month of June. He's pitched solid. He's really pitched well against the Mets. in the past, really controlled this lineup for the most part. So I get Atlanta being favored. I just still don't want to lay this kind of price with Atlanta, and I just can't do it. This is still a team that's not consistent. They're 3 games below 500. Mets are still the better ball club, and they're the big dogs. So there's value on the Mets, but I don't want to back McGill. It's an easy pass for me. What do you think here, Connor?
Yeah, this was a pass for me. You talked about it. McGill kind of got rushed up, and then he pitched okay against the Braves. They kind of needed him. Just he gave up a couple runs in 4 innings. Braves probably hit him here, but I've had no success with these Braves. If I take them, I'd look at their team total over 4.5 minus 115, maybe than taking Morton. But Braves just can't do it for me. I got to see it more. I got to see him hit before I start laying money on him. So it's a pass for me.
All right, yeah, I'm seeing Luke Murphy saying our boy Matt Randall taint play is Braves run line, and so yeah, if you're going to back Atlanta, that's the way you got to look. You got to look run line. Yeah, that's a big money line. I'm just staying off this game completely. I can't justify Atlanta being this price. Yeah, I don't care who's on the mound for the Mets. I mean, the Mets are the better ball club right now. What do you think here, Jose? Mets Braves.
Yeah, I was just going to echo basically just saying Matt Randall's taint play today. That's the play. I've already played it. So I'll roll with that. And other than that, I'm going to stay off and hope that win streak can continue. 60% hitter, man. What a guy.
They should hit him. I mean, can they do it? They should. Paper ripped this kid, but
yes,
they fooled me all year. They fooled me all year against some of these guys.
Miguel is a name that does not inspire confidence. I'll admit it. If I ever bet on someone named Miguel, I'd be worried.
Well, it's pronounced McGill, isn't it? It's got to be McGill. Yeah,
Miguel, whatever we call him. It's not a good name. It's not a name that I'd back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cash action bets. Yeah, I just follow most people that follow me. People are wondering how you're following so many people. Well, so many people follow me, and I decide, I'm going to follow everybody that follows me. It's kind of like a courtesy thing. Now, if you get on my nerves, I'll ignore you, and I might even block you if you're really, really vicious. But for the most part, yeah, I just follow back what people that follow me. It's a courtesy. You follow me, I appreciate that. I'll follow you back because most of these people are bettors anyway. So that's the way I do it. All right, next up, we've got Minnesota, Chicago White Sox, Kenta Maeda, Lucas Giolito on the mound. This game got postponed yesterday, so it's being played tonight. Same matchup, White Sox minus 130, 8.5 the total. I didn't have a strong opinion on the game yesterday that was with these two pitchers on the mound. I feel the same way today. I'm probably not going to be involved. White Sox are slumping, but I trust Giolito a lot more than I trust Maeda. However, as I just said that, as much as I trust Giolito more than Maeda, Minnesota's 7-2 their last 9 games. White Sox are 2-7 in their last 9 games. So that's why this game is a conflict. I think the White Sox have the better pitcher, but Twins are in better form right now. So I guess lean if I had to. I'd rather have the team in better form, even with the inferior pitcher. So I'd lean Minnesota, but I'm going to stay off this game. What do you think, Connor? Twins, White Sox.
Yeah, this is the one yesterday we talked about. Nelson Cruz, 4 home runs. Kepler, 3 home runs off Giolito. He's definitely one of the spider tag guys. I lean, maybe the full game over 8.5. The Twins team total, I was looking at 3.5 minus 120. They got good numbers against Giolito. And he's just been average this year to me. Maeda's gotten rocked by the White Sox as well, but they've been cooled off. A few guys hit him. Jake Lamb's 9 for 31 with a couple of homers. But I'd lean full game over 8.5 or look at the Twins team total over 3.5. I think they might be able to get to Giolito here.
All right, next up, Jose, what do you think here? Twins, White Sox.
Don't worry, I'll keep it short. I think a lot of people have been saying that Giolito's going to get touched up, so I trust you guys absolutely. I'm a Giolito guy. He hasn't been great this year. I like that your look there, Connor, with over 3.5. I'm looking at team total is minus 124, so a little juicy, but I like that. The Twins aren't like an Orioles kind of bad. They were expected to have some expectations. They've got some good players, and those good players have to play well to get out of Minnesota. So,
yeah, Giolito the long ball. That's why I like it. And a ton of these guys have hit homers off him. Polanco, Sano, multiple.
Yeah, I'd come back. I remember I mentioned the home run props. Yeah, that's what I would do tonight. I would bet those home run props I was looking at last night involved in the Minnesota Twins against Giolito, Nelson Cruz, and Max Kepler. I mentioned those two guys yesterday on the show when we were looking at this same pitching matchup. So I'd stick with that. Go with Cruz Kepler home run props. Jack of the Day candidates tonight. Cubs and Brewers, Zach Davies, Brandon Woodruff on the mound here. Milwaukee, minus 245 home favorites. The total, 7.5 here across the board. Well, that's why the numbers sometimes add up completely for one bet in a game. Sometimes it looks too good to be true. And that was the Brewers and the Cubs first 5 under last night. Holy shit. What was it? 2-2 after the first inning. You couldn't have asked for better numbers. Hendricks dominating, Peralta's rolling, and these fuckers get
top
up,
strikeout teams.
Inning. Yeah.
Bad against righties. We'll talk about it in this one. And and then they settle down. But yeah, you can't, that was me yesterday. That was the crescendo of the last few days was yesterday.
Unbelievable, yeah.
I can't wait for these teams to start selling. By the way, the chat's been talking about the Cardinals, or not the Cardinals, like the Diamondbacks and teams like getting injured and having to trade. The White Sox have reached a point where they need to trade for people. So I just wanted to put that out there in the ether that we need these bad teams to lose. And I've said it on the show before. We need the Cubs to lose. We need the Cubs to lose so they can start selling. I would love, love, love to see Chris Bryant traded at the deadline.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. The Cubs are I can't believe in the Cubs for a single second, because you can't be this pathetic on the road and expect to be considered as a good baseball team. I don't care that you're 42-37, which is actually not bad for an overall record. You're 16-24 on the road. That's good, and that's not good enough if you want to be a big-time ball club, as far as I'm concerned. They've lost 4 in a row now. Oh, all of them on the road. What a shock. 3 to the Dodgers, and then the Brewers last night, 14-4 in that one. And the Brewers are rolling. 8-1 their last 9 games coming into today. Brandon Woodruff, I've talked about how, at times lately, the home run ball has victimized him, and it has. That's been the one issue with him. He's given up home runs lately, 6 in the last 4 starts. That's the one thing you're worried about here going into this game. Zach Davies had that brutal start against the Marlins. What was it, 8 runs in 6 innings? But other than that, he's pitched shutouts in 3 of his last 4 starts for the Chicago Cubs in 6 innings of work. So unbelievable turnaround after a brutal start to the season for Zach Davies. We'll see how he fares here tonight against the Brewers. The Brewers, believe it or not, haven't faced him a ton, and there hasn't been a whole lot of success for guys they've faced. Cubs have done nothing essentially against Woodruff in the past. He's really done well against this Cubs team previously. I'd lean to the run line with Milwaukee minus 1.5, but I still can't get over the fact that other than that rough outing against Miami, Davies has turned it around. So maybe he could go first 5 under again, but geez, I'm not in a rush to do that after what I saw last night either, which feels like last night all over again. This game should be a first 5 under, and the home runs too are a concern for Woodruff, because if he's giving up home runs, takes just 1 or 2 of those, and all of a sudden there goes your first 5 under. So I'd lean Brewers first 5, or not first 5, full game run line minus 1.5, even money, but just a lean. I don't know if I'll get involved in this game. Connor, how about you? Cubs, Brewers.
Yeah, Woodruff's been good to me all year, but the number's starting to get huge. Minus 230 here. I think the Cubs might be a little shot. First 5 at around plus 230 might be a look. Davies just keeps pitching well and on the road. But here we go. I'm going back to the well. I think it's too much value. I'll take Woodruff on the mound and hope Davies can get some outs against a Brewers team that hit all of a sudden late last night. Wong's the only guy that he's 3 for 19 with a couple of homers, but I don't even know if he'll be in the lineup today. So yeah, I'm going to split it up. First 5 under, 4 at even money, and the full game under 7.5.
All right, we have Baltimore and Houston next game on the slate here. How about hope you didn't lay the wood and be a bridge jumper last night and lay minus 320 with the Houston Astros in that game. It did not work out well for you if that was the case, as they lose 9-7 to the Baltimore Orioles last night. It looks like we got Travis Lakins making a spot start out of the bullpen tonight for the Orioles. Jose Urquidy are on the mound for the Astros. Once again, Houston just a massive favorite tonight in this game, looking at around minus 340. The total 9.5 here across the board. The Houston team total cashed for me last night, and that's probably the way I would go. Keep it simple. Houston wins this game, they're probably going to win by scoring a lot of runs, right? Especially against a spot starter for Baltimore, a bad bullpen behind him, and there's going to be a good chance that Houston scores the number of runs they typically do. So if you like Houston, and I said this yesterday, why the hell would you even consider minus 340 money line? And even for that matter, why even consider minus 1.5 on the run line, which is still expensive, if you want to go that route, when you can take the team total for the Houston Astros, which is a much cheaper price. There's a damn good chance that if the Houston Astros win this game, that they are going to be able to score the number of runs, the 6 runs to get you your team total. And I think that's the better bet. Like it's minus 310 to minus 320 money line. It's minus 160 to lay a run and a half. Why lay those prices when you can go over 5.5 at a much more reasonable minus 120, minus 130 right now? Doesn't that make sense? I think it does. Houston team total here, over 5.5 in this one for me. I don't have to worry about Urquidy. I don't have to worry about the Astros bullpen, which, look, isn't always consistent, reliable either. Let's make sure we point that out. We saw that last night in the game against the Orioles. The bullpen didn't get the job done. So why worry about that? Take them out, take Urquidy out of the equation, and just bank on the Astros probably being able to score 6 runs against this Orioles pitching staff, which is something they've been able to do routinely as of late, is just score 6 runs against anybody. So for me, it's the Astros team total. Once again, over 5.5 for me. What do you think, Connor? Baltimore, Houston.
Well, I'll be quick. This was the quickest scratch for me. Just Astros are a huge favorite. Like you said, you got to lay 1.5 minus 165. I'd be with you. I just struggled over the years with over 5.5 team totals. ROI is not good. I don't do it a lot. And at minus 130, I don't love that. I know it's a lot better than the run line, and that's what I'd take, but I'm off.
Yeah, like I said, Houston minus 320, Houston minus 1.5, minus 160. Houston over 5.5 team total minus 130. What's the best bet of those 3? I think it's a pretty clear choice. What do you think, Jose?
Yeah, no, I think you guys said it all. We can move on, honestly. It's high numbers. I think you guys did a great job breaking it down. Listen to those 2 dudes right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like I said, if you want to find a pathway to back Houston, that's going to be the way to do it moving forward, especially when they're facing really bad teams. Like, you don't lay the money line, especially with a shaky bullpen. Or the run line. Go with the team total. Just rely on the bats of the Astros doing their thing, which right now is the strength of that team. They've been an offensive machine, obviously, for the better part of the last 2 to 3 weeks. Next up, we've got Arizona and St. Louis. Caleb Smith, the lefty for Arizona. And we've got Carlos Martinez on the mound for the Cardinals. We've got St. Louis minus 150 to minus 160 in this game. Total 9 pretty much across the board in this one. Arizona let me down. Bad bet, bad call on my part. It's going to happen. When it was a bad call. I mean, just didn't hit the lick against the soft tossing.
They had their chances, though.
They did.
They should have scored a couple runs there, for sure.
They did. But at the same point in time, and then Torey Lovullo, talk about a numbnuts decision. He's mailing it in. He's got to be mailing it in at this point of the season with how shitty of a season this team's had. That's got to be the explanation that when you're right there at 1-1 in the 6th inning and you have the bases loaded, you're not going to pinch hit your relief pitcher. What are you thinking, man? You're going to put Alex Young out there, your relief pitcher, with bases loaded or whatever it was. He obviously records an out. And then that relief pitcher, okay, you want him to pitch the top of that inning, but he got shelled. He got rocked in the very next bottom half of the inning by that St. Louis lineup, a lineup that's been feeble for the better part of the last several days. Like, this manager has completely said, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to be fired anyway at the end of the season for this miserable season we've had. Why do I need to give 2 shits anymore? I'm out of here. See ya. I don't need to think. I don't need to use my brain. I don't need to make a smart, logical decision anymore as part of this team, as the manager. No, I'll just, my brain will go out the door because I'm going to be out the door. So my brain can follow it with me. I mean, seriously, how could you do something like that last night if you're Torey Lovullo? Absolutely pathetic managing. You pinch hit at that time of the game. It's 1-1. You don't win any games. Win the game. Put a guy in there that can get a goddamn hit for you. Simple as that. I mean, my gosh.
I was shocked that happened.
My eyes seeing that. What is this, Pee-wee managing? What is this, single A managing? Because if that's the kind of shit you're going to do, you should go back there. Embarrassing for Torey Lovullo last night. Shameful, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, getting back to this game here, Arizona and St. Louis tonight. With this Arizona team, we know how bad they are, and their manager's not helping things. And on the flip side, look, St. Louis, their lineup, it came to life last night in that 7-1 game. Still not a fan of Carlos Martinez, nor am I a fan of him laying this kind of price. You got Caleb Smith on the other side for Arizona. It's actually been somewhat reliable this year, 3.03 ERA. He's made a few starts in this role. This Cardinals team against lefties, not really great lately. 183 average, 4.15 runs per game against lefties. So I hate to say it, but I think Arizona could be live again. But I don't know if I want to come back to that well again after what I saw last night.
After all that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, absolutely. So I lean Arizona here, but maybe you can go Arizona team total again. Try that because I don't trust Martinez very much. The team total for Arizona, and that way you don't have to worry about Caleb Smith or anything. It's 3.5. I would lean to the Arizona team total one more time, but boy, not exactly rushing to bet it after they got held down to 1 run against Wade LeBlanc last night. What do you think here, Connor? Arizona, St. Louis.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. I'm going to take a shot. I think Smith's been one of the better pitchers for the D-backs. I know it sounds crazy, but taking Carlos Martinez, even though the Cardinals finally scored runs late, I want nothing to do with him minus 150. I'll take a stab with the D-backs at first 5 plus 130. Yeah, Martinez, the Cardinals hit lefties better, but we talked about it lately. The last 2 or 3 weeks, they haven't hit him as well. Smith's been kind of one bright spot for the D-backs starting rotation. So I'll take a stab with them. First 5, yeah, there. Plus 130.
All right, good stuff. We're gluttons for punishment, and here we are back again trying to back this Arizona team
back
one
again,
more time.
Maybe.
Hold on, I'm going to back this Arizona squad. I'm in. I'm all the way in, guys. This is my someone said it earlier, my nuts out on the table play of the day. I'm taking the Diamondbacks money line today. Full game. I think this is the game they win. I correct me if I'm wrong, but are they still on their long road losing streak?
Oh no, they won
that.
They won against San Diego over the weekend.
They beat the Padres.
Okay, good. Because I thought they snapped it, but I wasn't absolutely sure because I was going to reference that their long losing streak in general they snapped against the Cardinals, I believe. So and Carlos Martinez arguably has been one of the worst pitchers in baseball. I think the Cardinals get it done, or the Diamondbacks get it done today. I think Torey Lovullo, he makes it up for you, Ian. He gets this dub today.
I can't believe that last night. That's just like it's like a toddler could figure out what to do in that spot better than Torey Lovullo did last night. Seriously, I mean that's how bad that was in terms of decision making at that moment in the game, especially when you're crying out for wins right now. You can't even put a position player in there to pinch hit in the 6th inning, bases loaded, and a 1-1 tie. You know how clutch a spot that is. You just can't put your relief pitcher in there to hit in that spot. It's unbelievable. Next up, we've got Pittsburgh and Colorado. Chase Young and German Marquez, the pitching matchup here, minus 180 for the Rockies here. Big home chalk in this one. You're starting to get Colorado getting some respect now at home, where they've actually played some really good baseball this year. And the total 11 here across the board in this one. German Marquez for the Rockies. By the way, speaking of the Rockies at home, they're 26-16 on the road. So we absolutely ripped this team for their 6-31 road record. But man, their home record's been very good. They shut out the Pirates 2-0 in the series opener yesterday, which was very good to see. German Marquez on the mound for the Rockies, 3.99 ERA, good home numbers, 3.56, 8-2 in 10 home starts this year, the Rockies with Marquez on the mound. We've got the Pirates, Chase Young, 4.94 ERA, 1-4 in his 5 starts, 0-2 on the road, outscored, by the way, by 2.5 runs per game in the road starts this year for Chase Young. I'm considering a Rocky run line bet, but again, we're talking Rockies on the run line, which is not something I think of a whole lot. Marquez has got good numbers. Marquez has got good numbers this season, good numbers at home. He's done well against the Pirates in the past. Chase DeYoung in this ballpark, I don't think very good. And look, something we have to mention for this series, first time all year, Coors Field's got capacity in attendance for these games at home. So it's a much better environment. I think that bolsters and that gives them a little more energy, a little more adrenaline for the Rockies now, going to the ballpark, playing in front of a very, very much more full fan base in attendance here. So that helps as well. So no way do I want Pittsburgh here. And we talk about how Colorado's bad on the road. Pittsburgh's pretty bad on the road too. So I would lean Rockies run line here. Not sure I'll get there, but I lean in that direction. Connor, what do you think? Pittsburgh, Colorado?
Yeah, this one was a difficult one for me. Other than the last start to the White Sox where he gave up 4 earned, he had pitched pretty well. He's going to go just 4 or 5 innings, DeYoung. And if he could give up just a run or two, Marquez has been really good, especially as of late. Just the wind's blowing out 10 miles an hour. I wanted this first 5 under 6. I'm still looking at it. It's just a lean. But that wind blowing out's got me thinking.
So, sorry, Ian, can I push back on something you said? Do you really think there's going to be fans for a Colorado Rockies game?
Well, there was
just in the very beginning.
The first game yesterday, there was a lot more. Will it continue though? You're right. There's some truth to it because the second game there'll be a drop off. There could be today, but nevertheless, they're still good at home. They won all year with limited fans. So
exactly, I'm on the right bet with you. I'm right there with you. Colorado run line for sure. I'm going to play that. I think that's a good bet. And we talked about it. I forgot what show it was on, but Colorado at home with this -1.5. You always get big numbers on it, especially when they're playing good teams, and it hits. Even money's not the biggest number, but Steve Priest is dropping truth about Marquez against the Pirates. 4-1, 2.25 ERA versus the Pirates. I love that, and shout out to Cheshire Cat, by the way, is the one with the nuts in front of him, play of the day or whatever. So shout out to Cheshire Cat, always in the chat. I appreciate you, and here's me acknowledging your existence. Colorado -1.5.
Yeah, Cheshire Cat is awesome. He's in there for every show I'm part of. It's amazing. Very good support. Thank you for that. It's always there. I mean, he's I don't think he misses too many shows, so it's nice to see that. But German Marquez, by the way, 6-1 in his last 7 starts, and the home starts. You look at them. The Rockies have won most of them: 9-6, 7-1, 3-2, 3-1, and 7-3. So all but one of those Rockies home wins with Marquez on the mound were 2 runs or more. So that makes the run line make sense here in this one to back Colorado. All right, Texas and Oakland. Mike Foltynewicz, James Caprillion, your pitching matchup here. Oakland -190, home favorites here. The total 8.5, pretty much across the board here in this one. Mike Foltynewicz, a guy that's been a bet against pitcher most of the season for me. Now, he has had the odd, occasional, serviceable, manageable start for the Texas Rangers, but still, for the most part, for him, it's been a rough season. 5.4 ERA for him coming into this start for the Texas Rangers. Over his last 3 starts, a hideous 8.56 ERA, although he pitched better against Oakland last time. 2 runs, 6 hits, 6 innings. It was just 6 days ago. And he pitched well, and then Texas won that game. I don't know if that'll keep up. I think Oakland makes some adjustments. They hit him better this time around. Before that, he had given up 4, 8, and 5 runs in his 3 starts before that against Colorado, Dodgers, and Minnesota. Texas lost all of those games. I think Oakland makes their adjustments here today, does a better job against Foltynewicz this time around. They're coming off a 6-2 win on Sunday in the finale, avoiding a sweep against the San Francisco Giants in the Battle of the Bay Area. Look, Caprillion, he's one of those guys where I know the advanced guys are waiting for him to fall on his face and falter and, start to pitch poorly, saying that his FIP and his XFIP are higher than his ERA, but he hasn't shown you that so far. He has pitched remarkably consistent, 2 runs or less for Caprillion in 6 of his 8 starts so far for the Oakland Athletics. And they are 6-2. Right now they are 5-3. In his 8 starts overall. He pitched well enough. He was actually on the opposite end of Foltynewicz last week when these teams played. Gave up 2 runs. He pitched well enough. I think Oakland gets the better of Texas today. I'm not going to lay the price. What I'm probably going to look at more is the team total for Oakland. I think that's probably the better direction because I think they will fare better this time around against Fultonevich. And like I say, these bad pitchers, if they kind of shut the door on that lineup in the first start and they face them again a week later, I think the lineup and the better team makes their adjustments, hits better here. So I like Oakland and I like the team total here in this one over. Connor, what do you think here with Texas Oakland?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Fultonevich gets hit a little more here. Caprillion did well. I could see similar today. I think he's pitched really well so far. Yeah. The Rangers got a couple runs. They might even get more off him. That's why, yeah, I lean the full game over 8.5. I like the A's team total. It is minus 120, but that'd be my only way. I don't want the A's here at this huge price at minus 190.
All right, Jose. What do you think here, Texas Oakland?
I think I'm on Oakland. I'm on Oakland as well. I like the run line. I think this is just one of those things. Oakland should get the job done easy, quick, no sweat. Hopefully at 10-0.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if you can keep it up. Giants and Dodgers. Next up here, we've got, it looks like it is, hold on here. Yeah, there we go. Kevin Gausman, Walker Buehler on the mound for the Dodgers. We've got the Dodgers right now minus 150, home favorites here. The total 7.5 across the board here. You talk about how it's been a grind for me in baseball the last few days. Lots of ups and downs, a few more downs than ups. It couldn't have been more frustrating watching the Giants in that first 5 full game split bet that I had last night. A million chances to get runs across the board. They out-hit the Dodgers like 10-5 in terms of hits for the game, and they somehow lost 3-2. And the one night the Dodgers bullpen shuts the door. Freaking Jansen's actually good for once. It was last night there in that game against the Giants. But I'm not deterred here. I'm going back to the Giants well here with the San Francisco side here in this game. Gausman has been terrific. There's no question. And I think it's something to keep looking at here where he can pitch well again tonight. And he's given up 3 runs in his last, 22 innings or something like that? 3 runs in 15 innings over his last 2. He's been terrific for this Giants team. 1.49 ERA, 11-4 this season overall with him on the mound. The Dodgers are only 5-4, by the way, in Buehler's 9 home starts. He's got a good, solid 2.83 ERA, but I think this will be a close game once again. And I think once again, there's some value on San Francisco. I thought that was a good bet, bad result bet for me with San Francisco. Good bet. They should have won that game, I thought, but they just couldn't get that one big hit. So I'm coming back to the well here with Giants first 5, Giants full game. I have no opinion on the total. You look at it, not really a strong opinion either way on the total. So I'm just going to stick with San Fran here, first 5 full game split. What do you think here on this one, Conor Mac?
Yeah, it could get over, but man, all these Dodger games at home have all been under. These last like 6 home games have all stayed under 8. I think it'll be a playoff atmosphere. I lean under here. Gausman in his career has gotten touched, Mookie Betts especially, but he already faced the Dodgers this year, kind of shut him down. Buehler back at home. I just trust it. I lean under. I haven't bet it yet. I don't know, the first 5, 3.5, or full game 7.5. That's it. Just a lean. And Giants again. I think the value's with them, especially first 5. You talked about last. Yeah, they left runners on all bunch of innings. That was just hard to watch. I think there's value on the Giants, especially first 5.
When you start losing the bets you deserve to win, that's when you know you're in a little bit of a funk. And you look at some of these last few, some of these baseballs. San Francisco last night, Bundy gets sick and the over dies with the Angels and the Yankees. 6-5 early. Red Sox Royals. I had the over in that game. Atlanta stays stuck at 11, and I get a push on that. That should have won. I mean, you go on down the list. There's another one last night that was frustrating there that could have gotten there. I'm blanking on it right now, but there's just a bunch of, and then in the NBA with Atlanta Hawks the other night, they're going to cover that game for sure, if not maybe win the damn game until Trae Young gets injured and Middleton goes nuts late in the game and lose that one and probably deserve to win it. That's what happens when you're going through a little bit of a funk and a little bit of a downturn. The bets that are good bets that should be winning, that you're there, you're right there, things look good, you deserve the cash, and they fall short and they find a way to lose. That's what happens when you're in a little bit of a funk. But hey, that's what happens. You just fight through it. Jose, what do you think here? San Francisco, LA Dodgers.
My play of the day on Jimmy's show was first 5 under 3.5 here. This was my first under I have given out and bet in the last month since the spider tax situation just came back. And I've heard today all about Kevin Gausman's first 5 record, so I'll show it here for Sharpie. Giants first 5, they're plus money right now. Gausman 11-2-1 first 5. Great record. Kevin Gausman has been a completely different pitcher this year. I believe he's on a qualifying offer this year, so he really is pitching for his next contract. You know, he gave him, or he trusted himself, and now he's out here being arguably the best pitcher in California. You know, you would think that pitcher would come from the Dodgers or the Padres or someone like that, but I mean, Kevin Gausman's been electric. Walker Buehler, honestly, people have been kind of down on him, but I think it's been more the same from Walker. Walker's been not awful this year. I understand maybe the spider tax situation affected him because he's a super high spin rate guy. His curveballs are ridiculous. And his last 2 starts, he gave up, I think, 3 and 2 runs individually. I'm pulling it up as I fill time over here. But, 3 runs against the Cubs, 2 against the Diamondbacks. I think that both these guys go out there, pitch well, and I think we can get a very good ball game. And the added cherry on top of this, too, is that this is playoff game atmosphere now. The Giants are 2.5 games up on the Dodgers. Connor, the Dodgers need these games. Very much need these games. I think there will be a good atmosphere, and I think the Dodgers win this game. But I'm on the first 5 under 3.5.
Wind's blowing out, but it was blowing out last night. You could see a few, and there was long balls early, and it kind of shut down. No runs.
It got cooler. That marine layer, whatever.
Marine layer.
It was that
marine layer.
Yeah, west coast there, and it's definitely not the wet coast. It barely rains there, the west coast. But that's exactly why. And once that gets into the air there late at night, the balls will just die in the outfield. You know, that's the way you see it. You see it at Petco, you see it at Dodger Stadium, you see it at Angel Stadium, you see it in the Bay Area, Oakland and San Fran. See it in all those ballparks on the West Coast, especially late at night. The balls will just die in the outfield and end up in a glove rather than end up in someone's hand in the stands. And that's what you end up seeing. Good stuff with Jose and Connor. That is the Tuesday MLB card. Great stuff. We will get to Jack of the Day. We will get to our best bets in just a second. But first, messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101.
Hell yeah.
101, when you're in San Antonio, Texas, check them out. Stop in, have a bite to eat, pints, live music, DJs, karaoke as well. Southtown 101. Manscaped, promo code PubSports. Make sure you check them out. 20% off your purchase, by the way, of the Lawnmower 4.0 and any other products you're interested in with Manscaped. With the promo code PubSports, you'll get 20% off your purchase. And then we've got mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. And if NHL, NBA playoffs still ongoing, MLB daily, we're going to have football in just a month from now. So make sure, no better time to sign up for an account with mybookie.ag. If you want to deposit with Bitcoin currency, you can do that. It is accepted at mybookie.ag. So make sure you check them out, mybookie.ag. Use the promo code PubSports. All right, it is time for that Jack of the Day. Let's do it.
We'll see you later.
Indeed,
Love
we
that.
will. See, I know it's a great. I know it did a great job with that show. Fantastic. All right, Jack of the Day. We've got a few candidates in mind here. I mentioned the two twins against Giolito. We liked that yesterday. We're going back to that today for sure. In this one, we're going to look toward. There were a couple earlier in the earlier action that I was looking at here. Oh yes, there's a couple Red Sox against JD Martinez against Brad Keller. I'm interested in. For sure, Cesar Hernandez against Urania is definitely one I'll be looking at. No question. I like Starling Marte over bases. I know it isn't home run prop, but I like that. You could also look at a couple others here. LeMahieu, Gardner against Andrew Heaney, worth a look. But I think the main ones for me are going to be Cesar Hernandez for the Cleveland Indians against Jose Urania. Those two twins are worth a look as well. Kepler and Nelson Cruz against Lucas Giolito. Those are the ones that definitely stand out here going into tonight for Jack of the Day. Conor Mac, what about for you?
Yeah, Steve Priest, we talked about it in the beginning of the show. Schwarber is just probably a bet on, even as 1-for-9 off Rich Hill. I think Ryan Zimmerman, we talked about 6-for-13, 2 homers. Jock Peterson, 4-for-10 with 2 homers off Woodruff. Cruz and Kepler from yesterday. We're getting it today. And lastly, Mookie Betts. He's coming alive a little bit. Hit a couple of homers lately. He's got 3 jacks. He's 15-for-43 off Gossman, 3 homers. And my guy Max Muncy, who hit one for me last night, he's got a homer as well. I think he's 3-for-8 with a homer off Gossman. So that's it.
Yeah, you know what, Kyle Schwarber, I don't mind that one. He does not have a good record against Hill at all. 1-for-9 and no home runs. And normally I don't like endorsing that for a home run prop, but look, he's 11 home runs in 9. Gee, I don't mind taking it because his current form is off the charts. If he's ever going to hit one against Rich Hill, it's tonight because he's been absolutely rolling. There's guys that I would bet home run props right now based on their current form, regardless of who they're facing, and their numbers against that pitcher in the past. Vlad Guerrero's one. Shohei Ohtani is one. Schwarber is one. Like, those are the 3 that stand. Like, they're just ripping it in terms of home runs here, especially in the month of June. All 3 of those guys. Those are guys like who I don't give 2 shits who they're starting or who they're facing, who they're facing in terms of the opposing pitcher. I don't care what the numbers are for these guys, these 3 against opposing pitchers. They're ripping it right now, and they're launching it. It's a launch pad when they hit the plate more often than not. So I wouldn't mind betting those guys home run prop every day right now. Schwarber, Vlad Guerrero, and Shohei Ohtani, regardless of who they're facing in terms of opposing pitcher, because they're just finding ways to find the seats and leave the yard night in and night out. Jose, I know you're not big on the props, but if you have any, you can mention them. If not, what's your best bet?
Oh, I'm so offended, Ian. I love a prop. I love a prop, Ian. I'll give you a couple.
It's Ski that doesn't do much with them yet.
So I'm you said it, Ohtani. I take him almost every other day, basically. Nelson Cruz, you mentioned already, and I'll mention a Red Sox of my own, Bobby Dahlback of the Boston Red Sox. He hits Mr. Keller hard. I'll take Bobby as a home run today. Best bet, now that we get into it. Best bet is a little difficult. And then I had some people in the chat guide my eyes a little bit. Help me out. I believe it was our man Steve Priest. Shout out to you. I just had to look down for my best bet. I just had to look down. I'm on the Rockies run line tonight, guys. I believe in Colorado. Do you believe in Colorado? I'm on the Rocks.
I believe in them at home. On the road, I do not believe for 1 second. So there's a big difference. You got to put Colorado into 2 categories this season for sure. Colorado run line, best bet, even money for Jose. Conor Mac, what do you like for best bet?
Well, I like the Brewers and Cubs, full game under 7.5, but I don't want to go back to the yesterday with that as the best bet. Give me the Tigers Indians over 9.5. We talked about the Tigers under games with the Astros, got back to the over. I see more with Urania and Mejia. So give me Tigers Indians over 9.5.
All right, Tigers Indians over 9.5. Best bet for Conor Mac. Mine is going to be another over, but different game. Kansas City, Boston over 10.5 tonight, -120 at Fenway. Hot night, warm, wind blowing out, two guys giving up home runs lately, Pivetta and especially Brad Keller. And another thing to factor in too, both of them, Keller just struggling mightily. And I think that's going to show up here in this game. Both, again, having trouble keeping the ball in the yard at times. I think that's going to end up showing up. And by the way, there's that other angle too, fading the pitcher off the no-hitter, which Pivetta had the last game. And I think you could see him struggle a little bit more tonight. So I think and the Kansas City's lineup, I get it. Sketchy at times, but I think they'll put runs on the board.
You Canadians, you guys hate each other. Ian,
No,
Jimmy hated. Jimmy was off of Nick Pivetta the night of the no-hitter that wasn't. Now you want to fade him again. You guys hate him. You guys hate the Canadians.
Not the spot. Off that kind of performance, that's not the spot I usually like for starting pitchers across the board. When they're coming off a no-no or they're flirting with a no-no, I don't often like backing them the next time out. So, and look, we got to 11 runs last night, 6-5. It's below that key number of 11, this total. So I think that it can find its way to 11 plus tonight. So Boston, Kansas City over 10.5. That will be my best bet for this Tuesday MLB card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Steve Priest, Brian Watson, Cash Action Bets, Bubba Wallace Guy, Andrew Steeler, Steve Priest, I mentioned him already. Big Show, Charles Hill, Miss MR. We appreciate you, and you've had some kind words. Razor Sharp, Brad Talive, Brian Watson, Po Buddies Nerfect, Anthony Ambronio, Luke Murphy, Sharpie, of course, and he's with us every Saturday. Make sure you join us Saturdays when David Sharp joins us. Cheshire Cat, Hustle Wilson, everybody in the chat. Sterling Gentry, we appreciate it. Great turnout. Christian Larson, thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us for sure. John Chow and everybody else, thank you for joining us in the chat and tuning into the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show. We'll be back in a couple hours, Connor and I, with Ski and Dutch, breaking down Game 4, Atlanta Hawks, Milwaukee Bucks. Is there anything left in the tank for the Hawks tonight as they're down 2-1 in this series? We'll have to wait and see. We'll also look back at last night. And look, someone in the chat reminded us of that quote that Paul George had. I love my family, talking about after a loss. And hey, that was a bad quote. Terrible thing to say that. You know, who cares about your family life when you were struggling? But we'll give him his due.
He killed it last night.
He played great last night. Can't say anything other than that. He brought it last night when his team needed it. So we'll give Paul George his due, and we'll do that on the NBA Pub Hub later this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. For Conor Mac, for our special guest, Jose Bouquett, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you in a couple hours for the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio.